Hey guys, I'm Sakshi Saxena and you're watching Books with Sakshi, where I'm always introducing you to some amazing books to read, and also I'm sharing some tips and tricks for book reviews and for readers and non-readers. So the book that I'm going to be talking about today, it's That Thing About You by Abhaidev. And if you remember, a few days before I asked you people to guess from the title and guess from the cover that what this book could be about, what the story could be about, and a lot of people including me, we guessed it to be a romantic tale, another romantic tale, because if you see the cover, hands of both men and women is tied with something like rope, so it was very usual for us to guess it to be a love story. But to be honest, it's not a love story. Like, there is some kind of love in between, but not completely it's a love story. It's completely different. And I would say the plot that this story had is something that I haven't read anywhere, or yes, I haven't read anywhere, so it was completely different for me to read. So I hope you'll also find it different to read as we move ahead in the video. Okay, so talking about the major character of this book, That Thing About You, that was Subodh, and he was an IT employee, and he was actually considered to be an immature man by his work colleagues, but he wasn't bothered enough about all these things. He wouldn't do anything to improve himself at that time, and also he would just keep on lazing around and wouldn't move an inch, to be honest. He wasn't bothered enough, but suddenly his love interest, his crush, you can say, also rejected him after knowing the same thing, that he wasn't mature enough. So what happens later is he actually got hurt, and later he thought to actually improve himself, and he decided to read a book by sitting in garden. What actually happens in garden is something that would actually shock you. There he meets someone, I mean to say a woman, who was not visible, but also at the same time she was talking to him, talking to Subodh, and she knew everything about him. And he was kind of confused. Like, definitely if someone comes to you and you start hearing their voice, but you cannot see that person, you'll be shocked, you'll be surprised, you'll feel like that you're hallucinating, right? So the same happened with Subodh, and he actually got himself checked with the psychiatrist, but nothing actually gave him the desired results. Now, this woman, like, everything in his life was not that constant, but this woman, who is still invisible, who still has no name, who still, like, Subodh doesn't know how she actually looks, is coming to Subodh again, and is talking with him about everything. She knows about Subodh completely. But what happens at the end? Now Subodh is kind of frustrated. He wants to get rid of that unknown voice, that invisible voice. So the voice herself, that woman who was not visible, she tells him to go somewhere, and what that somewhere, like that place, you are going to find in this book. So I feel that I gave you enough gist of this book for you to be more interested in it. And if I talk about the things that I liked about this book, to be honest, the way this book started, it was completely unusual. I had not read any single book that has started this way. So it was completely something that kept me hooked in the starting till the end, because I was I was completely in a hurry to find the actual answer, to find the answers of the questions that were hanging in my head. So the author very well maintained suspense. It was completely kind of mysterious tale for me. According to me, it was. Now, talking about the cover, as already discussed, I feel that author has very cleverly chose this cover, because firstly, it completely portrays the actual message that is there in the book, but people who have not read this book, you won't be able to understand it. And at the same time, it confuses people with something, a romantic tale or love tale, which it is not clearly, right? So I feel that cover is completely appropriate as the story is. And if I talk about the writing style of That Thing About You, I feel that language was lucid. Like, I don't feel that I was confused in any part of the story. it was completely easy for me to understand, and I feel that it would be easy for everyone out there, because I don't feel that author has tried to confuse readers in any form or anywhere. So talking about writing style, it was perfect. It was not naive, but it was completely perfect. It wasn't that simple, but it wasn't that complicated as well. It was in between. Like, it was completely perfect, I would say. So language was lucid, you can easily understand it, and without interruption, I would say. You can easily understand each and everything that is there in this book. And talking about storylines, they are perfect, they are on point. If author is trying to convey any message through any storyline, it is very well conveyed. So overall, I feel the writing style is on point. And another thing that I liked about this book was that firstly, it was a fiction, so not a lot of fictions include, about self-discovery, about self-improvement, basically about self-improvement, right? But this book had something to do with that as well, and I actually liked this book for that. So I would recommend this book to each and every person who is looking for a light read, something interesting, something that has slightly, little bit to do with love and self-discovery, and at the end, a big suspense will be disclosed, I would say. So definitely you're going to enjoy it because of its lucid language and message, the story. Like, I would say the message that author is trying to convey, it is very well conveyed in this video. So I feel that everyone is going to enjoy this, because I actually enjoyed reading this. And you won't believe that I actually woke up till midnight to complete this book, because I just couldn't wait to get the answer of like what was exactly happening. Why was that woman who was invisible was talking to Subodh? So there were a lot of questions that were hanging in my head, and once you start reading book, you just cannot keep it aside till the time you get your answers. So this book actually did that to me. I couldn't keep it aside until I actually found the answers. So definitely I recommend this book to each and every one of you. And that lockdown is still on, so you cannot have the paperback. So why wait for lockdown to end and get your paperback? You can go on Kindle, you can purchase this book, and you can download it and start reading this book, because you love it. You love it. This book will keep you hooked since the starting till the end of this book, and that's my surety. So I guess that's it, and in the caption only I'll mention the Instagram handle of author. You can go there, you can follow him. And that was it for today's video. I hope you actually enjoyed watching this video. So until next time, take care, bye bye.